Dr. Zach's Toy Soldier Hospital, and I am back once again. This time I got some Timmy classic plastic army men in yellow. In the lore, in the world building that I'm doing for my future stop motions, yellow is going to be part of the tan. So, got the classic artwork. Alright, so we got all the poses separated out here. Alright, so Timmy has this down to a science. Package says there's 48. There are exactly 48 here. There's 8 of this guy that way back in the day was a grenade thrower, but now he's just got an open hand because the mold broke. There's 4 of those. There's 4 mortars. There's 4 bazookas. There's 4 flamethrowers, although 2 of them are a little bit malformed. Don't want to stand up freely. There's 8 of the kneeling rifleman guy. There's 4 of the rifleman with the bayonet guy. 2 minesweepers. Again, same issue with the flamethrowers. These guys don't seem to want to stand up. 2 officers. 4 radio guys. 4 machine gunners. 4 shooting prone riflemen. And 4 crawling prone riflemen. Yeah, Timmy's got this down to a science, packing these things. And these flamethrowers here, they're way... Yeah, these are kind of defective. That's a little disappointing. There's like a big gash in the back of, like, that one's foot. And that one, too. Yeah, so that's just a factory defect, it looks like. But overall, I'm pretty happy. And it's nice that they don't have an excessive amount of officers like the knockoff ones do, or an excessive amount of radio guys, or the minesweepers. Or it seems pretty well balanced. You got a nice mix here. You got lots of riflemen, and then you got some special weapons, but you don't have like a ton of them. Like, nothing's overwhelming here. Like, nothing's out of balance here. This is a nice, pretty well balanced set. So there is a little bit of flashing I'm noticing on those two flamethrowers. Probably is on some of the others, I'm just not seeing it. Anyway, I wanted to do a quick comparison because when I was a kid, these are the kind of army men they had at the Dollar Tree all the time. I think they call these Bizarro or something. I didn't know that at the time. But at the time, when I was a kid, Sarge's Heroes was a big game that I was playing a lot of. And so I really liked these because, they reminded me of the characters in those games, those Army Men games. Anyway, I had a bunch of them in tan and in green, and they had them in gray, too. They had red and blue, too, but those were like firefighters and police. But anyway, what's different about these ones, and I wish Timmy would make some of these poses, is you got the rifleman that's standing as opposed to kneeling. You got the bazooka guy standing as opposed to kneeling. That might not be practical, but that's what I remember from the video games. You got the flamethrower kneeling as opposed to standing. It's kind of an odd pose. I don't think a flamethrower would be really in that pose, because a flamethrower is an offensive weapon, and that's kind of a defensive pose. So maybe in a bunker or something, but yeah, it would be kind of limited where that pose would really be applicable. And then they also made this, they made the used to be a grenade thrower, but he's got an open palm now. They actually made that with a grenade. Although it looks like maybe a little bit shorter, possibly. Oh yeah, there's definitely a height difference. Okay, so these, whatever brand they were, I think they might have been Delta Force or something like that. It was some kind of off brand that Dollar Tree was selling at the time. They're just a touch shorter. But it is kind of nice to have a Grenadier. Whereas these guys here, they remind me of it's Sarge's Heroes 2, the cover art. Sarge kind of yelling at whoever he's yelling at. That's kind of the pose. Kind of the pose here, as opposed to throwing a grenade, since they don't have a grenade. So hopefully at some point Timmy decides to maybe revisit that pose with a grenade. Be nice if when they reissue these, maybe if they did that. And then this is another one I always preferred this one. Got the officer actually shooting his gun instead of just walking, which is what the Timmy pose is. I've always preferred that officer pose. And then the one final difference with the knockoff ones, the machine gunner is almost identical. The only difference is it doesn't have a stand or a tripod, whatever you want to say, to hold it up. So it's a little unrealistic. And then the knockoff ones, they had copies of this pose, copies of this pose, copies of this pose in varying quality, copies of this pose. So yeah, and then copies of the mortar. So yeah, that's the main difference between the knockoffs and genuine Timmy. But yeah, I like these. It's kind of soft plastic, but it's pretty highly detailed. And Timmy, this is something I'm absolutely thrilled about. Right there. Timmy actually makes a lot of their stuff in America. So shout out to Timmy. That's awesome, guys. That's awesome that you guys do that. Anyway, that's all I got for you. Dr. Zach's Toy Soldier Hospital, out. Peace.